Okay, welcome to the grammar of Surah 104, Surah Al-Humazah. This is longer than usual, so we'll just take like maybe the first four verses for the grammatical functions, and then the final five verses will just explain the literal meanings, and the rest we'll just bring forward to our live sessions. Okay, so Wailun would be translated as woe. Okay, woe to, so woe, can you name of hell also, hellfire, misfortune, punishment, torment. Li will be to, kulli, every, humaza, backbiter, and lumaza is slanderer. Now this humaza and lumaza are synonymous in a way, and it can mean either way. Humaza can also be slanderer. Lumaza can also mean backbiter, depending on who you reference. Okay, so let's go to the functions. We'll just do the functions and then force for the first four verses for the sake of time, and so that you can watch a shorter video. Now, wailun is a noun. It doesn't seem to be definite, so in principle you can't have a mubtada, a subject of nominal which is indefinite, but in this case wailun can refer to hellfire as in proper noun. Okay, sorry, and wailun is also, although it does not seem to be, it doesn't have an al, but it's a regular expression that has become a commonplace expression that is that it takes on the power of definiteness. Okay, so wailun becomes subject of nominal here, becomes subject of nominal. Now the rest would be li, quite straightforward. You have a preposition, after it will be object of preposition. Now here this is tricky, some of you may not get this straight away. So kulli humazatin is a pair, right? Noun plus noun, no al, no tanween, kasra, as in every of backbiter, each of backbiter. Although in eventual translation you don't put an of there, but kulli humazatin is a possessive structure. And then you have lumazatin. Now look at humazatin, lumazatin. Very straightforward, right? It's that's an alignment. That's an alignment in terms of at the back tanween, and in front there's no al, so it's a follower adjective, which means it's describing what is before it. So the translation becomes slandering backbiter, something like that. Okay, so now for the arrows, for the force, right? So preposition, object of preposition, drags. This noun drags the possessive noun after it, and then the follower adjective follows what is before it. Okay, now you are left with subject of nominal. Let's do this first. Prepositional structure. Whenever you have a prepositional structure, you have to find a linking verb before it. There's no linking verb, right? Okay, now then let's go to wailun, subject of nominal. There's no predicate of nominal. Now, what do you do when that happens? Now, most of the time when this happens, you have to assume something. Now, this is easy to assume because it seems that there is no is here, so you add an is, right? Woe is to every backbiter and slanderer. Although you don't really put an is even when you put on your final translation, but you put an is here just for the grammatical process. Okay, and therefore this is here is considered the predicate of nominal. So in that sense, subject of nominal pushes this predicate of nominal, and then prepositional phrase would be linked to the verb before it, which is, and with that you have connected all the dots. So the meaning is woe to every slandering backbiter. Okay, so let's go to verse number 2. Okay, this is verse number 2. Alladhi jama'a malan wa'addada. Okay, so now you have a alladhi, which means the one who. So the one who, jama'a means amass, or collect, or in this case maybe hoard. Okay, malan is wealth, and every verb has a subject of verb. In this case it's a he, because you don't see a standard noun that is the subject of verb for jama'a. Wa would be n. Addada count, would be sort of count repeatedly because of the shadda. Adada would be count, and because of the shadda means repeatedly here. Who it's referring to the wealth. Okay, so alladhi, the function of alladhi would be a bit tricky. So we go to jama'a first. So jama'a, you have a verb here, and then the subject of verb would be the he, and then the wealth, which is collected or amassed, would be the object of verb. Okay, he amassed wealth. Same thing for the one after it. Wa will be conjunction, so addada would be the verb, and you have a subject of verb again. When you don't have a clear standard noun subject of verb, you just imply that there's a he here. So he would be the subject of verb. Okay, so this is he, subject of verb, and then you have the object of verb, which is who here, object of verb. So you got everything except alladhi. Let's do the force first. The force would be every verb is pushing the subject of verb and lifting the object of verb. Same with addadahu, same process. And then you have a gap with this conjunction here. Every time you have this is a VS structure, verbal structure, this is a verbal structure, and you have a conjunction, therefore this follows, this verbal structure is a follow a conjunction for the previous verbal structure. And then you have this alladhi. Now there are there are two ways to give a function for alladhi. I'll just show you one way. The easiest way is that it clarifies or elaborates more of what is before it. So in this case it elaborates one word from the first verse. Okay, so whatever is described in the first verse, it elaborates. So we call it follower. We call it follower elaboration. Follower elaboration. Therefore, it elaborates that word that is in verse number 1. Okay, I'll let you guess what the word is. Now, you can see a gap right here, right? Without the arrow. Whenever you see a gap, and then this is a relative noun plus a verb. Okay, every time we see this structure, you just put an arrow back to the relative noun. Why you do that? To indicate that the subject of verb in this verb is referring back to this relative noun, related. See, relative noun, related. So once you see that, once you do that, then that will be perfect. So all are connected, and the meaning is the one who amassed. So you eventually when you translate, you cancel the he here, so it becomes the one who amassed wealth and counted it. Of course, because if you translate it as a universal fact, truth, it becomes the past tense ceases to be there. So it becomes the one who amasses wealth and counts it. So that is verse number 2. Let's go to verse number 3. Okay, verse number 3. Yahsabu anna malahu akhladahu. Okay, so yahsabu, if you look at the dictionary, yahsabu means thing. So in this case there is a he, so he thinks. Anna means that, malahu, his wealth. Okay, akhladahu, khalada means eternal or immortal. So I'll just put eternal. So the here means make. So make him, him. So make him eternal or make him immortal, immortalize him. Okay, so let's begin. Yahsabu is a verb. So it's a verb. Function wise, it's a verb. Anna, that's a subject of verb, right? So the he is a subject of verb. Okay, so anna is a particle of emphasis. So particle of emphasis. Malahu. Okay, so now malahu. Now let's go to the verb first. Akhlada is a verb, and then now every verb has a subject, right? So the subject of akhlada, what makes him eternal? His wealth, right? So it becomes it. So it here. So it referring back to mal. Okay, so this is the subject of verb, and then you have the object of verb, which is who. Okay, now this is a bit complex. There's two layer sparsing here. So how to do this, huh? So mal, so his wealth make him eternal. So his wealth make him eternal. Okay, so you do it like this. Whenever you see anna, whatever that comes after it is a nominal sentence. So you identify the subject of nominal and predicate of nominal. So you just read the translation as in his wealth made him eternal. Okay, which means if we were to just take the meaning, his wealth becomes the subject of verb. Subject of nominal. So you just write here subject of nominal as in malahu, and then akhladahu, which is the verbal structure, becomes the predicate of nominal of malahu. Okay, so this is a predicate of PON, predicate of nominal to malahu. All right, so malahu is two words, right? Malahu, wealth of him. So wealth of him, so that would be a possessive. Malahu. So malahu is a who is a possessive. Now okay, so in that case, mal would be dragging the possessive here, and then the verb pushing the subject of verb and lifting the object of verb here. So those are the arrows, and whenever you see anna, you find the noun after it that is lifted, which is mala. So there you go, and then you have this verb yahsabu pushing the subject of verb. So yep, that's verb, subject of verb. Now can you see the gap? The gap is here. There's no arrow connecting between yahsabu and the rest of the structure. So what you do is this. You look at this verb yahsabu, which means things. So when you think, you have to think of something which is the object of thinking, the object of the thought. So in this case, what's the object of the thought? What is he thinking? What is he thinking about? So this is quite easy. You just take everything after things, the verb things, and that is the object of verb. As in the structure of this structure is not the structure of anna plus the sentence plus the subject, the nominal sentence, which is subject nominal and predicate of nominal plus anna. So all these three, we just let us call it anna structure. which is actually a nominal structure. So all of it is actually the object of verb for yahsab, or the object of yahsabu. So so this verse is done. Let's translate it. He thinks that his wealth would make him immortal or eternal. So let's go to verse number 4. Okay, this is verse number 4. كلا لينبذن في الحطمة. Kalla means nay. Okay, so nay or not at all. La is la is an emphasis, which means certainly or truly. Yumbad basically means through, and because it's UR, right? So it's passive. Thrown, thrown, and there is someone who is thrown here, which is referring to he. Okay, he, therefore he is thrown. And then na would be a particle of emphasis also. That would be certainly, for sure. I'll just put for sure. And then fi in al-hutama. Al-hutama means the crusher. It comes from hatama, which means break into pieces. Hutama is said to be a name of hellfire. Okay, let's go to the functions. So functions. Kalla is called an aversion particle. If you check corpus, for example, aversion particle means particle of dislike. Like I'm not sure why it's called that, because the meaning is nay, as in not at all. So but it's called aversion particle anyway. So la yumbadhanna fil hutama. So la is the particle of emphasis again. The na also an emphasis, and then you have the verb here, and then you have the subject of verb, which is he. Okay, going back to he. So and then fi is preposition, of course, after it is object of preposition. Okay, now the next one would be quite straightforward. You have the arrows here, fi dragging hutama, and the verb dragging, pushing the subject of verb, and then the emphasis. The emphasis are all watchers. They don't do anything to whatever that's after them. Even aversion kalla is just a watcher, so you can put arrows there, but to simplify, we'll not put arrows. So remember, when you have a prepositional phrase, you have to link it to the previous verb. So therefore this is the linking verb for fil hutama. So the eventual translation would be nay, not at all, that person, he would be thrown. Oh no, certainly here it's not certainly, it means would. La, it means would. For sure he would be thrown into the crusher, Okay, so that's verse number 4. Okay, for verses 5 to 9, we won't I won't give the functions because of time. We already have about 20 minutes of video time now, so I'll just explain meaning wise. Okay, wama adraka. So you usually see this is this expression, right? Wama adraka. So wama adraka is literally means and what makes you know, and what makes you know. So this is and what makes you know. So it simply means, and you know what, it's like that. Mal hutama, this is subject, and predicate mal hutama, it means what is the hutama, what is the crusher. So you would notice that this pattern is the same as humaza and lumaza. It's a hyperactive noun. In Arabic we call it sighatul mubalagha, to show that the noun has an intense meaning, more than the usual root meaning of it. Alright, so that is verse number 5. And then we go to verse number 6, and you will have narullahil muqada. So this answers the question of what is the hutama. So what is hutama? What is the crusher? The crusher is the fire, so fire of Allah that is kindled, yang dinyalakan. Okay, so God's fire which is kindled, that is hutama. Okay, then we go to the next one. The next one, verse 7, allati tattali'u ala al-af'idah. So allati, that which the one who, or that which, this is referring to the nar, to the fire. So that which looks over. Tattali means look over, literally. Well, let me see how is it translated as. You can also check, by the way, while looking at this, you can also check other translations in islamiccity.org/Quran search. So I'm looking at 1047. So tattali' rages over, rise over, laps to, rise, leaps up, peruses, mounts to the hearts. Okay, so rise over to the hearts, like look over the hearts, and so on. So the ala can also mean over here, and al-af'idah means the heart. So the fire rises over the heart. It's quite near, as in very near to the hearts. Okay, so this is verse number 7, describing the fire. So verse number 8 is describing further, elaborating further the fire. Indeed, truly, ha, referring back to the fire, indeed it, on them, is closing in. So on them, innaha alayhim mu'sada. So now I just realized that him means them, and what would that refer to before this, right? So innaha alayhim mu'sada, them. So we don't have a them. Maybe it's referring to kulli humazatil lumaza, so every slanderer, backbiter. Okay, so mu'sada, asada means close, like closing the pot. So it's as if the fire is rising over the hearts, closing into them. Okay, as a lid to the pot. Okay, that's verse number 8. Okay, so this is verse number 9. Now all this is very important when we go to the morphology and explanation of the verses. Okay, so fi amadin mumaddada, in amad, amad is the plural of imad. Imad means pole, column. It's like like that, pole. Mumaddada is from madada, extend, like mad in tajweed, extension. So you say extended, so in extended columns, which basically means it's just a metaphor. It's just an analogy to show the overwhelming fire that rages over the hearts, and one will be in overwhelming despair when that happens. Okay, so that's it for the grammar for half of Surah 104, and some literal meanings for the words in this surah. Okay, we'll touch more on deeper stuff, okay, in our live session. Thank you so much for watching.